Hello, my name is Chelsea Miller, and today we're going to be talking about technology in the classroom. Today we'll be focusing on the county of Baltimore County. First, let's look at the county. So if we look at Baltimore County, it is a county in Maryland, and it is made up of 5 different areas. But inside of the Baltimore County public schools, there's 4 zones because it's so large. If you look at this first map here, you will see that Baltimore County encompasses Baltimore City and is surrounded by all the other counties in Maryland. Above the green line here, that's all Pennsylvania. So the gray is Maryland and the orange is Baltimore County. And then this shows the 5 different areas of Baltimore County. Now we're going to go into looking at the numbers specifically for Baltimore County Public Schools. It is one of the largest counties in Maryland and one of the largest school districts in the United States. So we're going to be focusing on the numbers in this chart. Baltimore County is made up of 173 different schools and has approximately 112,139 students enrolled. Of those students, 45.1% are eligible for free and reduced lunch, and 11.7% receive special education services. As far as ethnic groups, you'll see all the different ethnic groups here. And if you look at the bottom, you'll also see that some of our students have come from different countries, and they speak different languages besides English. Alright, I gave out a survey to different teachers and I asked them what their issues were as far as not incorporating technology into their classrooms. And it came back with a lot of various issues throughout the school. So throughout the next few slides, I will talk about the 3 major issues that many educators had. The first one was that educators do not know how to implement technology into their rooms. They know how to use the devices during rotation for math and reading, and it's 2 specific programs that Baltimore County offers that the teachers are currently using. But outside of math and reading rotations, they're unsure of how to use technology in various ways. So they stated they would like more resources and trainings on how to implement technology into their classrooms so that they can truly create a well-blended learning community. The next huge issue seemed to be flipped learning. Flipped learning is a big push in our county, so it's very important for educators not only to understand what flipped learning is, but also to learn how to implement flipped learning into their classrooms and their everyday teaching. The third issue I'm going to focus on was that most teachers said they were afraid to implement technology because they weren't sure of how to solve the simple tech issues that might pop up. And it wasn't just for the students' devices. They also said that they were afraid of the simple tech issues that might pop up when they use their document cameras and smartboards and their docking stations. So these are the 3 issues that I really want to pinpoint in professional development to try and help educators feel more comfortable incorporating technology into their classrooms. Any professional developments completed by me or created by me will be open to all educators, whether they are teaching primary students or secondary education. Some of the professional developments may be mixed with teachers from the primary and secondary education, while others will separate primary and secondary education teachers just to make sure that the whole professional development really ties into what those educators need to learn and know to implement technology into their rooms. A few of the PDs might even be open to aides and teaching assistants that might be in the classrooms helping out the teachers to be sure that they are also aware of how to help out with the technology while they're in the teachers' classrooms. One of my first PDs will focus on the first issue which is teachers not having the ideas of how to implement technology into their classrooms. The overall goal for this would be to teach educators different ways to implement technology into their classrooms in order to create a well-blended learning environment. For the flipped learning, my overall goal would be to teach educators not only what flipped learning is, but also why it's important. I will also give them resources and provide them with different ways to implement flipped learning into teaching and educating their students inside of their classrooms. For the last issue, the PD would focus on helping educators solve the basic tech issues that they might come up with when they are using the technology in their classroom. It would not only focus on student devices, but also all the other various pieces of technology that you'll find in the teachers' classrooms. And that would include the projectors, the Elmos, and no, we're not talking about the big furry guy, we're talking about the document cameras, and their smartboards. So no matter which technology they're using, if they come up with a simple tech issue, they can solve it on their own. For the course of implementing technology and getting ideas, the educators would learn tips and tricks on how to implement technology into their classrooms. They would learn this through a face-to-face workshop, as well as a PowerPoint lecture that would occur during the workshop. So they would be able to be hands-on with the different tips and tricks that they are given, as well as taught about different ways to implement technology into their classroom with the PowerPoint lecture. The Flipped Learning Professional Development course would include why we need to incorporate flipped learning into our classrooms, what flipped learning is, and how to use flipped learning in the classrooms. Educators would learn through webinars, face-to-face lectures, workshops, as well as hands-on when they are in the workshops. The Computer Basics PD would be face-to-face and a webinar mix where educators learn about basic troubleshooting of the technology in their rooms, as well as being able to use and learn all that comes with the BCPS 1 program, Dreambox, and even iReady. So it'll teach them all the different tricks and different things that they can pull from iReady, BCPS 1, and Dreambox. Educators would also be able to learn and interact with all technology in their classrooms while at the face-to-face class to be sure that educators know how to use the tech and solve the simple problems they may face. To make sure the professional developments are viable and effective, I would hire volunteers to complete the 5-day plan for the Flipped Learning course. The volunteers would follow the 5 days for the flipped learning, and at the end of each day, the volunteers would fill out a survey that would tell me how they felt about that professional development day. So whether they felt it was effective or they felt I needed to change something. I will then use that information to change or enhance the professional development days in any way possible to be sure that they are effective for all the educators that are taking them. After the field test was complete, I would take a few days and review what the volunteers' responses were and revise my professional development plan to better fit the needs of the educators participating in the professional developments. So I would revise it or change it as need be to make sure that it is effective. In hopes to be sure I am making the most of the educators' time while they are participating in the professional developments, I will have them complete a quick survey at the end of each professional development day. And here are the questions that I would ask them. In order to evaluate my success on the goals planned, I will have participants complete daily evaluations. At the end of the 5 days of the professional development, they will also complete a survey on how the entire 5-day professional development went. So they not only have their evaluations that they'll take daily, the surveys that they'll take daily, but then at the end of the 5 days they'll also take another survey that encompasses the whole professional development course. And of course, with a 5-day professional development course, there comes expenses. You have the venue that you have to pay for, volunteers to do the field tests, the cost of the books, the cost of the electronics, all that good stuff. The one thing that I won't have to put into my budget is paying the educators, because they will be taking the different professional development days while they are supposed to be at work. So they will be from 8:30 to 3:30 or 8 to 3. So after adding up the venue, presenters for the 5 days, volunteers for the field test, the cost of the books and electronics, I estimated a cost of $9,000 to cover the full 5 days. Following all of the professional developments, I'm hoping to have at least 2 educators in each building who are trained in flipped learning, and I'm hoping that they can take the information that they learned and share it with their colleagues at their schools. I'm also going to contact the principals at the different schools and find out if it's possible to give the educators at least 2 days for them to share everything they learned in 5 days with their colleagues. I'm hoping that if we can do this, that we will become a county who is trained in flipped learning and who truly understands why flipped learning is important and feels that they can incorporate flipped learning into their everyday education. The next 5 slides include all the links that where I pulled my pictures from for this presentation, because I did need to pull multiple pictures from multiple sites. And I do not have any rights over any of the pictures that are shown except for the survey with the questions on slide 16. So again, there's 5 slides of the links for the pictures. And that is the end of my presentation. I hope that you learned a lot about technology in the classroom and how I am hoping to make different professional developments and help teachers become comfortable with using technology in their classrooms. Have a great day.